something?
No?
What are you doing then?
I'm keeping watch over this.
What is it?
A hole.
You think someone's going to pinch it?
Somebody might fall down it, child or an animal.
That's true. Yeah, you're quite right. Who put it there?
Nobody put it there, sir. It appeared overnight.
Can you smell gas?
No?
Me neither. Never could. I was in Malta during the war.
Hello, Dick. I'm just off to the Commander's Strategic Forward Planning meeting.
That sounds interesting.
Yes, first time I've been invited.
What's it all in aid of, then, this meeting?
Well, no doubt we'll be kicking about various ideas for the future policing of the division.
Well, it's nice to know they're listening to the man at the sharp end for a change.
Yes, it's very encouraging. As you know, I've felt for some time that I'm ready for increased responsibility.
Certainly are, sir.
Elizabeth?
What I wanted to say, sir, was there's a Mr. Stark here to deal with the Turnham case.
Well, I'll leave that in your hands, Dick.
181 from Sierra Oscar.
181 receiving.
Give your exact location, please, Marika.
Lumley Street, opposite Tesco's.
Right, remain at that location. You'll be picked up and brought back here.
What's this in aid of, George?
Mr. Conway's got a snake down his trousers. Wants you to charm it.
All on.
Charles, this is Mr. Ballinger from the Home Office Research Unit.
How do you do, Mr. Ballinger?
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Bronwlow. And Mr. Allnut, who's a security consultant.
Chief Superintendent.
Mr. Allnut.
Take a seat, gentlemen. Mr. Allnut, you've contributed a great deal to our thinking. Perhaps you'd like to run the background ideas past Mr. Brownlow.
Certainly, Commander.
My call's through to Mr. Munro's extension, Eileen, until I tell you otherwise. Any idea when I'm going to get my office back?
I shan't take any more time than I need.
Because I have got police work to be getting on with.
Of course, Chief Inspector. We're all on the same side.
Come in. WPC data, Mr. Stark. He'll explain.
Thank you, Mr. Conway. Sit down, please, Constable Data. I'd like to ask you a few questions. I shan't keep you away from your duties any longer than necessary.
Sir, could you tell me what this is about, sir?
Well, I could say it was routine inquiries, couldn't I? But that wouldn't help you and wouldn't be intended to. As you're well aware, there are times when an interview is more productive if the subject is not aware of the object. I'd like to start by asking you some questions about yourself and your experience here at Sunhill.
Sorry to interrupt.
Well?
I'd like to know if this is a matter where I should be advised by a Federation representative or a solicitor, sir.
No, it's not.
Yeah, well, chase the council, will you, George? I've been here an hour already.
You still here?
Looks like it.
Want to get that filled in?
It's being dealt with, sir.
No, it's not.
Not busy yourself today, sir?
Not this morning, no.
So, PC Turnham is a friend?
A friend at work, if you want to put it like that.
You don't just see him at work.
It's where I mostly see him.
We go out together.
We don't.
Secret?
Is what a secret?
I bet you were with him at La Grillade on December the 8th and Le Clos Manin on January the 4th.
I don't remember the dates.
Oh, but you have been to those places with Turnham.
Yes, I have.
Right. So you do go out together. That's what the words mean.
Going out together, it sounds like a relationship or something. That's what I thought you meant.
And you were very quick to deny it. So what brought you together at these places outside of working hours?
Food. They're restaurants.
An interesting companion, Turnham. Public school boy, Cambridge graduate, a man of education and refinement. You find you had a lot to talk about?
I have been known to read the odd book myself, sir, without moving my lips.
But you'll be having trouble with your feet standing round like this all day.
You may well be right, sir.
But from the bunions and fallen arches, there's the blood. Rushes to your ankles. They go up like balloons. I went about artificial hips, but they said I never needed none.
To meet these increasing challenges, you'll be expected to field less manpower than at present. Now that means substituting technology, telecommunications, flexible and efficient premises for sheer numbers of personnel.
You can see this has considerable implications for an inner-city police area like ours. We have to be ready to deal with all kinds of trouble, even if we hope that they don't all materialize. Speaking freely now, how well do you think Sun Hill can cope with developments over the next 10 or 20 years?
Well, sir, I've made no secret of the fact that I think that Sun Hill is far from ideal. Accommodation and access leave a lot to be desired. And if we're to have an even greater demand on our resources, I don't see how we can cope.
Well, we're here to tell you that your observations have been borne very much in mind. Mr. Ballinger?
Thank you, Commander.
You took your time, didn't you?
Sierra Oscar from 800. Are you receiving? Over. The council are dealing with the hole, George. They don't need me.
Understood. Await further instructions.
I'm due for a break.
Yeah, well, change is as good as a rest, mate. I'll get back to you.
They wouldn't have lasted long in Malta.
Malta?
In the war, full of holes that was. Couldn't waste time standing looking at them.
This isn't a bomb crater.
Could be.
There hasn't been an explosion.
Not yet.
On every occasion, Richard Turnham saw you straight home after the meal, wished you good night at the doorstep, and that was that.
Yes.
Did he ask you back to his place for coffee or a nightcap?
No. Is there something funny about that?
The first opportunity, nothing funny at all. The second? The third?
I've got a steady boyfriend. An approach would have been unwelcome. I was glad Richard spared us both the embarrassment.
Oh, I accept that Richard Turnham's gentlemanly conduct was a pleasant surprise. But it was a surprise, wasn't it?
You think Richard's gay? I happen to know there's a woman he goes off with at weekends.
Who's that?
I don't know. He's not like the others. He doesn't come into the nick in the morning shouting about getting his leg over the night before. He keeps things to himself.
So Richard Turnham has an active love life and keeps it secret. That's very helpful, Constable Datter. Thank you for your cooperation.
Is that it, sir?
Yes, that's it as far as you're concerned. You can return to your duties.
The hole's been dealt with. He's screaming for a break.
Any traffic lights down anywhere?
No, I'm afraid not, Gov.
All right, send them to the shop in King Street.
Yeah, but the area car's already gone round to
Didn't
the...
raise that as a topic for discussion. That was an order, Garfield.
Well, I do care about the state of the world. Don't make no bones about that.
Find you can talk to the other lads about it. State of the world.
Some more than others.
Garfield?
George is a good lad, one of the best. But I don't think he loses much sleep about the future of the planet.
Turnham?
Oh, Richard's an educated man. Cambridge, you know.
Isn't all about Cambridge.
He's the sort of bloke who does a bit of thinking.
About the future of the planet?
Ecology, the environment, pollution, yeah.
So you and Turnham think what? That we're all doomed to destruction if we don't change our ways?
We're concerned about the way things are going.
So the whistleblowers and protesters have got a point.
Yeah.
Turnham thinks that.
I should think that's what he'd say. You'd have to ask him, though.
I will. So if some protest group were planning to sabotage a pipeline that put nuclear waste into the sea, Turnham would have sympathy with that.
I don't know about sympathy. If it was against the law, he'd nick 'em for it.
Would he?
Yeah, same as I would.
So, a Cambridge man thinks just the same as you do. All right, Melvin.
Those are the key ideas. Now, let's see how they can be realised on the ground. Mr. Bronwlow, this is a divisional police station for the 21st century. A state-of-the-art, intelligent building combining user-friendliness and combat survivability with low running costs.
That's very impressive. Where's it going to be?
Sun Hill.
An area car dealt with the incident before I was assigned to it.
Look, it's no good having a pop at me, Rich. I'm only the man on the microphone. Anyway, you know what they say. Anyone can make a cock-up, but it takes the Metropolitan Police to organise one.
You want Quinnan now?
No, I'll grab some lunch now. I'll tackle Quinnan when he's just come off duty. We're keeping Turnham out of the way.
Yes, at the expense of a considerable waste of police time.
So you see, we're not talking about demolition, Mr. Bronwlow. We're talking about extensive refurbishment.
And where are we all supposed to go?
You stay right where you are. Well, you'll have to move rooms from time to time.
But it's all phased so that in the severest winter months, only a few of your officers will be in porter cabins at any one time.
Nobody's denying that it's a challenge, Charles. But if anyone can maintain a cool head and continue to deliver a top-line public service in these conditions, it's you.
Now, this might give you a better idea. Look, that's the new front desk area. See, it's open plan. The public will feel much more at ease the way they do in a modern bank or building society.
And at the same time, it constitutes a defensible space. Your lines of sight are much more comprehensive. And you can drop an armoured shutter over the front door that can stand up to an RPG-7 rocket attack.
I'm not expecting a rocket attack.
Yes, well, that's what they would have said in Belfast in 1969.
Charles, how often have you complained about the access to Sun Hill's custody area?
Well, having to take prisoners down the main corridor towards reception is certainly unsatisfactory.
Well, the redesigned station will have direct access to the custody area from a secure yard.
You'll be able to process busloads of detainees.
Under what circumstances?
Unforeseen emergencies. And you'll have a decent hydraulic barrier to seal off the yard.
Tucked away discreetly, nothing to alarm the public.
None of this business of driving armoured personnel carriers against the gates when the hooligans are revving up the base.
We don't operate armoured personnel carriers.
No, but the security forces would.
Yes, well, that won't be Charles's concern. He'd have signed over to the military by then, so I don't think we need to pursue that.
Note the way all your electronics interfaces will be ducted for discreet cable management.
Oh, Dave's there?
Yeah, I know. Let's leave him to it, eh?
Quinnan, I said to myself, and one word triggers another, doesn't it? Quinnan. Bow Street. Quinnan. The lad with something in his locker.
Oh, I thought I was all clear on that one, Gov.
Did you?
It was a genuine mistake. I was looking after it for a friend.
That's what you said at the time.
My explanation was accepted.
At the time. Still in your file, though.
Well, why rake it up now, Gov?
Rake it up? Oh, no reason at all. None at all. Unless some aspect of your current conduct casts doubt on your earlier explanation.
As God's my witness, I'm clean.
You know how to convince us.
How?
By cooperating.
What do you want me to do?
I want you to tell me the truth about Castle Street.
Castle Street? I never found nothing in my locker at Castle Street.
Never mind your locker, Quinnan. I'm not investigating athlete's foot.
We wouldn't be talking about a certain senior officer's lady wife, would we? You've heard the rumours?
I've heard the rumours, yeah. I want the truth.
Well, the fact is, the way she went over the side, you would have thought we were on board the Titanic.
Quinnan. The truth.
You wanted to see me, sir?
Yes. You're going to have to hang on here a bit, Turnham. Somebody wants to speak to you from MI11.
You're supposed to be helping me, Quinnan.
I'm doing my best.
You're just making up silly stories. You're just telling me what you think I want to hear.
I'm not making it up, Gov.
A woman in that situation? Come on.
I know it for a fact.
How? Unless you're telling me you've been there yourself.
No. Not me personally. I mean, we're talking about a bit of posh here, Gov. She's not going to go bandy for a bit of Cockney slag from Collier's Wood now, is she? Be fair.
Oh, come on, Quinnan. You're wasting my time.
Right. A bloke who's at Sunhill now. Turnham. He tried to keep stum about it, but I'll tell you how I know. He was living in a section house. I had a bedsit. I used to let him have the key of an evening if he was on a promise.
Doesn't mean to say it was her.
I came home one night and bumped into her on the stairs. That is all I know.
Yes, Quinnan, that'll do nicely.
Norika, I'd buy that drink, but I've got to hang around for a while.
Rich, are you being stuck on for something?
No? Why?
Are you in any trouble?
What do you mean, trouble?
Maybe I got the wrong end of the stick. I'll see you.
Brian Stark, MI11. Constable Turnham. You've been telling lies.
It'll end in tears, sir. You mark my words.
We mustn't start off with a negative attitude, Derek. They're offering us a police station for the 21st century.
Well, why do we have to have it now?
Oh, that will you.
That's north.
Oh, yes, right. Right, I've got my bearings now. At the front entrance, all the ground floor windows go. We're replaced by blast-proof embrasures with optimal sight lines and protection from car bombs.
I'll believe that when I see it.
This isn't a blueprint, Derek. It's just a preliminary sketch. I'm going to get enough carping from certain quarters without you adding to it as well, thank you. The whole idea is to make the new front entrance as accessible as possible to the public. The emphasis will be on user-friendliness, right? This way, Derek.
User-friendliness.
That way the public will feel more at ease, like they do in a bank or a building society. Here.
That isn't even part of the nick.
It's been acquired by police estates. I've been trying to explain to you, Derek. We're taking over the whole place. It gives us much more room to maneuver.
But it's always been very handy. I mean, whenever we pull an abscare kid, we just march him round here by the scruff of his neck and hand him over to social services. I mean, are they really serious about this, sir, or what?
This is progress, Derek. It's the message I've been given, it's the message I'm giving to you, and I expect you to pass it down the line with good grace, all right?
Well?
I'm sorry, I really have no idea what you're talking about, sir.
The Ulysses.
The pub?
The Irish pub.
They used to play Irish music.
Oh, they did more than that.
You're talking about ancient history before I went up to Cambridge.
Oh, that isn't very long ago in grown-ups' terms. They did more than play Irish music. They took up a collection at the end of every evening.
For the families of Irish political prisoners.
Oh, you believe that, did you?
I expect that's where some of the money went, yes.
And some of it went in to buy 7.62mm ammunition to blow the heads off British soldiers.
I was a kid.
And policemen and women.
Look, there wasn't a lot of choice in the matter. They rattled a tin under your nose and you paid up to keep the peace.
You signed your name under duress as well, did you?
My name?
We, the undersigned, call for the withdrawal of the British Army of Occupation from the 6 counties of Northern Ireland and for the disbanding of the Ulster Defence Regiment. Signed, Richard Turnham.
I had some rather simplistic political views in those days.
Oh, rather simplistic, were they?
I was 17.
Wars are fought by 17-year-olds, Turnham. Most of them don't know what they're doing either, but they have to take the consequences. They don't have your advantages. Question. Are you now, or have you ever been, engaged in any sexual relationships which could render you open to pressure or influence? Answer, no.
That's the truth.
Take your time, son. I'm giving you a chance for you to say it your way.
When I was interviewed the first time, I gave an honest answer. I did not believe the relationships I'd had exposed me to pressure
or influence.
And what
that
about-
must always be a subjective judgment, based on one's knowledge of the specific circumstances and the character of the other person involved.
Turnham, you can blow this sort of smoke at a Cambridge tutorial, but don't try it on with me. You were rogering your chief super's old woman.
You got that from Quinnen.
I got it off the bog wall at Castle Street.
With all due respect, Mr. Stark, I'd like you to consider whether you're counting these relatively innocent associations...
Innocent?
Relatively innocent. Whether you're counting them against me because what you really don't like about me is my education and my background and the sound of my voice.
Who says I'm counting anything against you?
Well, it seems to me that this sordid ferreting around in my affairs is aimed at providing grounds for rejecting my application.
You'll get a fair crack at the whip. You've got a lot going for you. Education, intelligence, aptitude for languages. You won't get blown out by anything I've turned up. But Turnham, if you find the process of positive vetting distasteful, you might need to ask yourself whether special branch is where you really want to work.
Not minimising the problems, Derek. And we could emerge from this travail with a more effective organisation. Thank you. Okay. Offering a better service to the public, which is, after all, the bottom line.
Yes, well, if anybody can put us through this in one piece, sir, it's you.
Oh, thank you, Derek. And I hope you'll see this as a token that I, too, have every confidence in your abilities.
Am I to understand?
I'm placing the day-to-day implementation of the refurbishment in your hands. Of course, I shall continue to take a keen interest in the strategic view of the work, but you wouldn't want me meddling with the nuts and bolts, allocating accommodation, chasing up contractors, that sort of thing. I'll leave all that to you.
Sir, I have to... Well, the last thing I want to be is a barrack room lawyer.
No, of course not.
But strictly speaking, I am in charge of operations, sir. I mean, this does strike me as a classic example of admin.
Oh, no. I see it very much as an operation. Something on the lines of a lung and heart transplant, with a bit of brain surgery thrown in.